Yeah, you can't really say it's not improv.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
You two are still talking, so I was like, I didn't want to just go burst and go, hey guys, and welcome, like, just speak over.
Hello. Funny what a bit of darkness
come
does to
on
the
in.
senses.
On
Anyway,
this fantastic Friday evening
welcome to
/ afternoon,
episode
depending where you are.
7 of the Talking Pogsense Podcast, back in our original, normal format of
The usual scenery.
Huge
3
size
boxes,
format.
skewed
Yeah, with my
boxes,
With my box being different to everyone else's.
and my camera being skewed as well. Just slouch down.
Technology.
I was going to say the date then, I couldn't even think of the date. It's April
It's in the
something.
bottom right corner of your
23rd.
computer.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's something of April.
April 23rd.
One
It is
week
10
and-
degrees where I am as well.
1 week and 1 day until my birthday.
Is it?
Yep.
Nice.
Interesting.
First
Anything
of May.
planned?
Absolutely not. 'Cause
Wow.
I can't do anything. So.
You can go away somewhere.
You go on your posh boat again and eat
Where?
profiteroles.
I don't know, to a self-catering
Could be
place.
that.
You can
one
go
of those,
to a
like,
self-catering place.
Get one of those like little wooden lodges that you see like in the countryside.
May as well
Take your
just
missus away, or get your missus to take you away.
fucking go Butlins at this point.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, wait, what's wrong with Butlins? You
Everything.
elitist.
Everything is wrong with Butlins. Everything is wrong with
I've never
Butlins.
been, to be fair.
I've never been either. I've been to Centre
Not a-
Parks.
Not a single thing. Centre Parks is just overpriced.
Centre Parks is great. It's not actually that overpriced.
I haven't
think
been to
about it.
Centre Parks since I was about 4,
It's,
so I
I'm
don't
going in
really remember
September.
it.
it's a couple thousand, isn't
Nope.
it?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
think
sure?
it's
It depends when you go. It depends what you stay in.
when you go, what you get.
Me and 3 friends. No, me and two of my other friends went. Was it 2 years ago in May? The bank holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Was it weekend? I think,
Mm-hmm.
or bank holiday week, like the week with the bank holiday Monday in.
Yeah.
And it was like 600, 700 for 3 of us for 4 or 5 nights.
I mean, so that's for 3 of you. So
Yeah.
it works out about, it's about 200 per person.
Yeah, for 4 nights. 4
I
or 5
mean,
nights.
you could go abroad for that. For 100, for about £50 extra per person, you could go abroad.
That's like a week in Benidorm.
Yeah,
It's 4 or 5
Benidorm.
days in a city in Europe. Flights are
But
like
not-
£60-70 quid. £100
not
per night for an
everyone's-
Airbnb.
Not everyone's about
Depends what
these-
kind of flight you get.
Not everyone's
and
about these city
when
breaks.
the flight is.
Some
Yeah,
of us want to go places and just get
Centre
absolutely
Parks is like
fucking
activity based as
plastered.
well.
Yeah, you do that in a city break. Why else would you go on a city break? That's what me and my
To look at
mates
the
do.
city.
Sightseeing.
Yeah,
But you can do both. So if you find beach holidays a bit boring, because you're with the lads, and why would you all go on a beach holiday? It's a bit weird. You just
why is
six,
it weird?
six,
Why is
six,
it weird?
6 lads just lying in a line, topless on the beach.
What's the difference between 6 girls lying in a line topless on the beach?
Each to their own.
I don't see what the problem is with 6 guys going on holiday.
I don't see how it's weird to
If
have like a beach
6
holiday.
lads on their own going on a beach holiday. I mean, okay,
That is literally the definition of a lad's holiday.
just
not
that with
necessarily.
drinking, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
but
literally the definition of a lad's
there'll
holiday.
be lads' holidays that go to the like beach destinations and don't step foot on a beach.
C and the other S word.
Sun, sex, and suspicious parents.
Yes, what a great show.
What a great show that was.
It's such a weird concept for a show.
I'll never
the
find out
fuck?
how you didn't
Why?
find out about it. Like, how
Why?
did they not
No,
guess?
but this is the thing I don't get. Surely at some point you've signed up for this.
Yeah, why would you sign up?
It's the same with TV shows like Naked
Do you-
Attraction.
Yeah,
You
but
know
do-
what you're going on for.
Well, yeah, people
No,
know what
'cause
they're going
they-
on Naked Attraction
like,
for. Like, it's
they-
not a
You're-
prank show.
Like, if you
They were
sign up for a
saying
TV show called Naked Attraction, you know what Naked Attraction is by this point. You know you're getting your knob out on TV.
Yeah,
yeah,
but they probably just say it's something else. So, like, don't say the name of the show or. use a
but
different-
that must mean there's some fake show going around that everyone's like, "Oh, have you been on this yet?" And no one's like, "It's not even been on
No,
TV
But
yet."
surely surely you've still got to actually
I mean, let's be honest. It's catering to a very specific type of person who might not have the intelligence to work out what they're doing. Hence why
Exactly,
it
that's what
works.
it is.
They're too thick to realise what's happening. They've signed up for it because it's money. And they think they're having a documentary done about themselves, when in reality, it's to find out how many times they've been popped up.
It's not really a documentary. It's probably more of a
No, but
reality.
well,
TV
that's
show.
the thing. Like,
Yeah.
it might if it's we're doing a reality. It's a bit like like Millionaire Boss and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's coming in. It's a documentary about a guy getting a job in a store. It's like, what?
I mean, I wouldn't rule out anything really nowadays. To be honest, like if someone came into work and was like, "Oh yeah, we're just filming something for like, I don't know."
I think it's
Yeah.
past its time. That's why.
Yeah, but it was like those like that was like what it was like. There was all that, and then there was like all the airport shows where they filmed like customers getting angry, which were great.
That is a documentary, though.
Yeah.
That wasn't a prank show of here's a load of
No,
stupid people
not
getting
not a prank
irate.
show, but I wouldn't say it's a documentary.
It kind of was. It was a documentary about the airport.
I have no clue what show.
No, like there's a TV show where it's literally just different airports where people get angry, like people getting angry. Like it's not a documentary about a certain airport.
You're not just referring to the program called Airport that was just following
No.
around EasyJet.
Are
I
we
don't
talking
know.
about Come Fly With Me? Because that's a
No.
It's definitely not that. I don't know what program you're on about.
For anyone interested, the beer of choice today is a Roomies,
Roomies.
a Munich Keller beer. I think I'm saying that correctly.
Maybe it's Beer
Um,
Keller.
It's probably a bit more aggressive, actually. Keller beer. That's a
Jesus.
bit more German. But yeah, I feel like Ollie Bull.
Go on,
It's
do
Ollie
it.
Bull here.
Great TikToker.
Yeah, and today I've got this lovely Roomies beer from Munich. I can't wait to get into this. So
You need to do the start though. You need to like sing a song.
I'll tell you what, this is. Oh, that is fucking unique.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is that a no from you then? Is it?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Does it not have that a description of what it tastes like most drinks?
Yeah, unfiltered and brewed with German malts and noble hops.
Unfiltered's not a good start.
It's not a good
It is
start.
our tribute to Franconian beer history.
Yeah, let me and Dunk will look at our Moretti's. It's a bit dark, I can't really read it. And it's in Italian.
Well, that's like the ingredients, really.
Ingrediente.
Just says at the top, Moretti was founded in 1850 and
It
is
is
still brewed
cold.
today with our traditional recipe to create a full-bodied golden beer known around the world for its quality taste.
I mean, I think it has now become my favourite beer.
Now that I've had a couple of sips, it's alright. It just... No, I don't... It's not what I thought it was going to be, I'm not going to lie.
Maybe we should just start doing beer reviews.
Not a bad idea.
Imagine if we got like Brewdog to sponsor us. That'd get messy.
Beer 52, that's who we need to sponsor us, because they're the ones that I got the bottles from.
There's loads of different companies like
It's
that.
brewed
though.
in the
I
UK
mean-
by Heineken.
To start it off, it tastes like asparagus. Is what
I mean-
Would you
Roomies
say
tastes
it?
like.
Would you say it's more citrusy or more like fruity?
Is that not the same thing?
It's
No,
more,
like fruity is in like
it's more asparagus-y.
non-citrus fruits.
Like, I'm just getting hints of
More
asparagus.
vegetable-y than fruity.
Yeah, I'm just getting hints of asparagus. And unfortunately, we don't have any
Have you-
Germans.
Have you
from
just
Munich.
eaten asparagus? Because I'm struggling to think about what asparagus tastes like.
No, I've had chicken and rice.
Tastes like asparagus tastes green.
Green and vegetable-y and a bit rooty.
I mean,
yeah.
the more I'm having of it, the more I'm actually starting to enjoy this. But
What's its percentage?
4.9.
Oh, What's
What's
Beretta?
Moretti?
About 5, isn't it?
4.6. We sell a Pilsner at work, which is
Basically.
5.4.
Basically,
Pilsner's that?
I don't know. The local brewery.
Oh.
Very nice.
But
Very, very nice.
yeah, this is peculiar. Peculiar is the word I'm going to go with.
How much did you say that cost? That beer 52?
£24 a month.
Beer 52.
I've heard of beer
£24 a
52.
month.
Yeah, I've heard of it before.
You get 8 beers, and a magazine,
I
and
think my mother-in-law did one box.
snack if you're interested in it. But
What snack did you get?
I got some. What did I get? Jalapeno and cheese chickpeas.
Oh,
Did you get just one packet, or did you get a few?
that was
Just the one pack. It started off so
good.
well. It started off so
And
well.
then-
Yeah, jalapeno and cheese chickpeas. They were dog shit, if I'm being honest.
There you go. Exclusively
great.
for new customers, Belgium.
Yeah,
That's
Belgium.
great
I
beer.
believe Belgium is the. I don't know if it's this month or next month, because my company actually do you can order a free small box from Beer 52 as like a birthday treat. So I've ordered that, and that's the Belgian. I think it's the Belgian beers I'm getting.
Nice.
I could be wrong. But yeah, this one I got was Cities of Europe, hence Munich. I had one during the week actually, which was another Czech one, which is actually probably my favourite one so far, and I can't remember what it's called. But that was very good.
You can get top lagers and pilsners. You get 8 beers mixed case for £24.
But this is peculiar. This really.
Or you can get a 24 beer mixed case for £55.
So it's a little bit more than you'd probably pay
Yeah,
in a store for a
but
pack
it's
of Strongbow or something. But you're getting like 8 different beers.
yeah. You're not really getting these at
Yeah, you don't know what you're
the
getting.
shop.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting. So
Like people who buy mystery football shirt boxes.
exactly.
Who buy them off eBay when there's like 50 shirts in them.
But
And you can buy mystery hype beast boxes. with,
yeah.
shoes
Oh,
and all
yeah.
that.
But since last Friday, what have we been up to? What's been people's lives?
I've had a very busy week, to be fair.
Go on then. Take us away.
What happened? So,
Fill us in.
Last Friday we was off the podcast, streamed a little bit afterwards. Did some cricket stuff on Saturday. Sunday did 5-a-side, and then Monday I helped out again at cricket with the under-15s.
Nice.
Tuesday it was selection, and I got to go to the pub for the first time since we were allowed out, which was nice. Wednesday was my own cricket practice, and then last night was I streamed again. I mean, this is busy for me. It might not be busy for anyone else.
It's more than
Doing
busy.
doing something
pretty
in the
busy.
evening equals busy to me. After having worked all day and then doing something in the evening. Yeah,
busy for me.
pretty much. And then here we are. Yeah, and then first game of the season tomorrow.
Nice.
Good luck.
Definitely looking forward to it.
What are we saying? Do you reckon you'll win? Lose?
We haven't won a game in 2 years.
Oh, jeez.
So this is including last year and the year before, obviously. But last year was a short season.
There's only so far you can drop before you start to win games, surely.
True.
Yeah.
So
The league gets restructured pretty much every year anyway.
nice.
And there's only like 2 divisions to the first team, so we're obviously in the second one.
Yeah.
And we have a second team, which is in 1 division. They might do all right actually this year. But we think we should do all right. It'll just be
Fingers
nice
crossed.
to be. I mean, it's not entirely normal again because
Yeah.
you still have to change either at home and turn up fully change into
Fully
your kit, or you change at the ground in the open. And there's no like
Which one?
refreshments.
Which one do you do?
I just turn up. I get changed at the ground because it's literally just changing a shirt and trousers.
Get changed in your car or something.
You can if you want, but you know it's pretty tricky.
Okay, so putting all the padding on this.
Oh well, that sort of stuff you do in the open anyway. But like putting on the actual like, trying to compare it back to football, like the shirt and shorts and whatnot.
Yeah, but you can put that on at home. That's a piece of piss.
But do you turn up at a game fully kitted? Some people do, some people don't. Like kids football, you would. Senior football, it's not as common because you might go to the pub after.
Yeah, most of the time I'll turn up fully kitted.
Right. Okay.
Just easier, isn't it?
I think there's a little bit of a stereotype. You just don't do it at cricket because it just looks weird. Because you're in full whites.
It would look weird at cricket, but doing it on a Sunday league, it doesn't look weird.
Yeah. And as you get into sort of more other senior football, they'll have a changing rooms, and you, like I say, go to the pub after, and you get changed into normal clothes, stuff like that. But yeah, so that'll be exciting. And I have ordered my own mystery football shirt box. I've been meaning to do one.
I've been wanting to do one for a while.
For a long time. The problem I had, I couldn't decide on the company because every man and his dog's doing it now. Well, I say the name, you're not going to know them because they're all called basically the same. But there was this one that I'd found on Twitter, and I think they're literally called mystery football shirts.
I went with mystery football jerseys. See,
the one I'm going with was on Twitter in 2016. I'm thinking it's probably been around a while. They've got like
how much?
So they have a 3-tiered system. So this one they give you there's a budget one which is £27.50, and for that you get a football shirt from anywhere in the world, football cards, and an info card about the shirts you receive. It sounds similar to the one I'm getting. Then there's the middle one, which is called the original box. Which is football shirt. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's more expensive, actually, come to look of it. And then the more expensive one, which is £40, the premium box, gets you a football shirt. It's a higher value shirt, basically, so you probably get one of a higher, so you might get more likely to get maybe a Real Madrid or a Barca one.
I didn't actually look how much mine's worth.
I think you also get like a little mini figure, like little football bobblehead people.
Oh, nice.
I think this is a company that chucked them in. But I looked at the website you went on, Welly, and the website didn't really look great.
I just went on the one that you.
And it doesn't look
the website doesn't look amazing,
but yeah. So I've been following these on Twitter for a while, and I thought they do giveaways every Friday. And I thought, yeah, why not? I'm kind of hoping for a middle of the road European team.
Yeah, do you know what? I was pretty pleased that I got
basically similar to what you get, but not what you got, because I wasn't a massive fan of the actual shirt.
Oh yeah, no. So I quite like that shirt. I think it's quite cool.
Yeah, that shirt was right.
I was looking at like some of the other ones that people have gotten from the company, and some of them are really nice. Like FC Basel, like there was an Atletico Madrid third kit that was a really nice blue. Did you put any requests in when you did yours? Like you can say what not to get.
I put no English clubs.
Yeah, I've done the same.
Yeah, I just didn't want to touch English clubs.
Yeah, it's a bit boring then, isn't it?
Yeah, just like especially when it says it's a kit from anywhere in the world. I was like, if I get an English kit, that's just so boring. I'm from England.
If I get like a one from an Asian country, an African country, I'd be buzzing. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, literally. That's why I'm pretty pleased about Swiss, because like I don't watch any Swiss football really. It's quite cool that I've got a team from Switzerland who I actually think Grasshoppers recently have.
Were they in this? I think they were in the second tier.
Yeah, they were in the second tier for the first time in
only because of Football Manager did I know that.
Yeah, I think it was the first time in ever that they'd been in the second tier. They're in the Swiss Challenge League, which is the second tier. Yeah, which they are top of right now. So Yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, it's fun, and I mean, again, it's slightly overpriced, but it's just that I think it's that whole and not knowing what you're going to get.
It's a
Yeah,
good lottery,
it's
and
a surprise
to be fair, I
aspect
think
of it.
people go into it to make money out of football shirts, like antique dealing. People will go on eBay to pick up shirts and know that they can resell them for £10-20, and they might pick it up for like £5.
It's
It
really
makes sense.
getting worse. It's getting worse again.
Hmm?
This is getting worse again. I might have to bin this off. Woo!
So what
Yeah,
about what? So yeah, you my week, your weeks.
Do you want to go ahead? I'm going to grab a strongbow again quickly because I cannot stomach any more of that roomies. So
Sure.
don't you take it away.
Before I do this, I've just seen I just went onto a mystery football shirt website, and this one comes with socks.
I saw that one. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's nice, but I don't care for
But
socks.
yeah, I'm never gonna wear the socks. Week's been not busy, but it's been alright, I guess. I've been worked Monday all day, worked Tuesday lunch, and then went and played football Tuesday evening. Had an asthma attack mid football game on
Nice.
Tuesday, which was not fun.
Nice.
So that ruled me out from that.
As in a full-on asthma attack, or you were just sort of struggling?
Like I couldn't breathe.
Nice.
Just have
Not
a
like
screw. But I don't know where it's from.
his desk just falls apart.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it wasn't serious enough for me.
Did you have an inhaler at the time?
I did not. No.
Oh god.
I was literally just up the local field, so it's like a 5-minute walk. Well, not even that, like a 2-minute.
Not if you're having an asthma attack, it's not.
Well, yeah, but like I just laid down and just kind of just laid there for like a good 30 minutes until it calmed down.
You can just imagine just there.
Yeah, because it was just before like halftime basically. So I just went off, just lay down.
Was it more of an official football match than Wellies?
It was like a 7-a-side match.
More of.
Okay.
What else have I done? Worked Wednesday all day. Was off yesterday. Streamed yesterday. That's about it, really. Not too exciting, but it's a standard week for me, really.
Standard.
Yeah, still haven't managed to go to a pub yet, which I don't mind because
Yeah.
You work in a restaurant.
Yeah,
So
I'm not really bothered about it anyway.
You're getting your hospitality fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really fussed about it anyway. Even if I wasn't working in hospitality, I don't think I'd be desperate for a pint.
Yeah, I was kind of happy to just sort of wait it out until it was getting a little bit warmer because you can still be outside.
Like, I want to go for the social aspect of it more than the beer aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But pubs down in the southwest are lush compared to
that's true.
my neck of the woods and probably yours in Northern.
They're alright.
As well.
It's just where my friends are and where I am is not the easiest place. Like if I want to go to a pub near them, I can't drink because I have to drive there. And if they want to come to me, they can get the train.
Yeah,
but it's not. It means they have to be gone by a set time, or someone drives, which means they don't drink.
Down in the southwest, you're just crashing a random field.
7 in Devon.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
7 in Devon.
Yeah, 7 drinks and drive. It's not. I don't actually do that.
The roads are so small; they act as like barriers for you to bounce off of as you drive.
Yeah. So if I'm like kind of swerving, there isn't another lane on the other side, so I won't swerve into any cars.
Yeah.
I'll just swerve into a bush, and it'll kind of like
pretty much
nudge me back into the middle.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Unless there is a car coming the other way, which I probably.
But the chances are they're probably also following the 7 in Devon.
So we kind of luckily just swerve past each other.
So kind of, it's like when you put two magnets together, north facing, and they just kind of like push away from one another. Just two people at 7 in Devon.
Pretty much.
automatically kind of like push away from one another, so they just end up swerving past.
The lowest car crash percentage
Yeah,
in the UK, in Devon.
Yeah.
Because of drink driving.
It's a fact.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, gardeners make an absolute killing off of hedge designs, but
you don't need a gardener when you've got a car
exactly. Yeah,
to change the shape of the bush.
those bushes are constantly being trimmed.
The bush will not push your car back into the road. That is
It's
wrong.
like a bouncy wall.
I
Yeah,
have
you've not
actually
seen these
reversed into a
bushes.
bush once and it pushed me back.
Yeah, you've not seen the bushes in Devon. The bushes in Devon are something
Spongy.
else. Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, my week hasn't been quite as busy as yours, Jam. But obviously Saturday I was on the River Thames, cruising around. I don't know how many knots. It was about 6 miles an hour.
Sensible.
Just chilling on a boat as you do. Helping out with a couple of the locks along the way, which are fascinating places to be.
There's like locks are weird.
They're so
Are
odd.
they? They're just
Yeah,
they're just separating water. They're not.
Yeah, but it's so weird how it works.
You drive your boat in at this level, next thing you're like up at this level.
It's a boat elevator.
Well, it's because
It's
it's a change of elevation. Because if you've ever realised, you can't go uphill in a boat.
Well, yeah, obviously. Well,
Yeah.
depends how fast you
Well, canal boats can't because they only go at 3 miles an hour.
get. Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty cool. But yeah, that was fun. I've been working all week except Tuesday. I had the day off Tuesday because I had a operation.
True.
Oh yeah. You had
How
your
did it
tongue untied.
I had my tongue untied.
If anyone remembers, a few episodes
Really
ago,
isn't it?
we talked
Anyone
about
remembers me
Welly.
saying?
He had
with
he was tongue tied.
A little bit of tongue tie there. I had it cut out on Tuesday. Got there, all good. Walking through, filled out my form. Woman was like, "Oh, you're fit and healthy. That's boring." I was like, "Yeah. What can I say? What can I say? I'm boring." And then, so basically, for anyone that doesn't know, tongue tie is when you have underneath your tongue, I think everyone has like a really small bit of skin that attaches it, but some people have a very large, thin bit of skin that attaches their tongue. The way to tell if you're tongue tied or not is to open your mouth wide and try and touch the top of your mouth with the tip of your tongue, whilst you've got, as Jam is quite clearly showing. If you can touch the tip of your mouth with the top of your mouth with the tip of your tongue with an open mouth, you don't really have a tongue tie. If you can't, or if you can barely stick your tongue out your mouth, chances are you do.
It's basically like if you did what Jan was doing just now in a mirror, you would see like towards the back there's like a little bit of
you see
skin
like a bit of thin skin holding your tongue out, which is what I had. And it's supposed to be removed when you're born because apparently cutting it when you're a baby is like nothing. But I didn't realise this, so I've lived 24 years of my life with it. But yeah, got it removed. So like I said, fit and healthy. She said I was boring, walked in there, sat down. One needle. So 2 needles on both sides to inject me with to numb the area, which was painful.
a lot of needles to just numb the area.
Yeah. And then, so obviously at this point my tongue was numb. Like I genuinely could not feel my mouth, but I had to hold my tongue up. And so obviously at this point my body can feel all the trauma. My body knows the trauma I'm going through, but I don't. I can't feel it. And he starts slowly snipping away at the skin. Like doesn't do it all in one go, just like slowly like snips.
Cutting paper.
Yeah, like slowly snips it. Like I can't feel this, okay? I know it's happening, but I cannot feel it. But my body knows I'm going through trauma. And so I'm getting queasy, I'm feeling lightheaded, I hate needles as it is. All of this is just grossing me out. And obviously I'm awake, I can see this like happening. So I tried to close my eyes and just like, I'm just like, you could just get through.
I presume you're at the dentist.
No, I'm at a private hospital for this because
It
I've got it done privately.
would be at a hospital more
Yeah.
than a dentist.
Of course you went
dentists
private.
have teeth.
Well, if I did it on the NHS, it would have taken like 4 months.
It took 24 years anyway, let's be honest. What's 4 months?
You've got to have it done before you're 25, or else it like I don't think you could get it done privately at that point either. So, but so it finished. I was like, okay. I started to feel a bit better. Sat up slowly, obviously. Nurse was like, I'll go get you some water. Like, just stay calm. I was like, okay, no problem. Next thing I know, I've got 3 people trying to fucking lay me out on a bed to make sure, all of them going, oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? I don't even fucking passed out. I passed out on the spot. I sat up and I was like, what? Like, I'm good. Yeah, I'm all good. And they were like, you're not. You're passed out. Like, just lay down, calm down.
Right. So why are doctors panicking that a person's fainted? Like, let's be honest. You're in a hospital. That's not the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, but they've done a procedure, so something could have gone wrong.
Yeah, like me passing out could have meant that
something must have gone horrendously wrong if that was the case. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem. Is they didn't know.
That's why they were being so careful. They're doctors.
She took my blood pressure, and apparently, like my blood levels and shit had, like dropped massively. She was like, they turn around and they're like, what have you had for breakfast? Like, what have you eaten today? Stupid. I was like, I've had 2 bits of toast and a cup of coffee.
Nice.
Is that bad?
Like, okay, well, it's not like enough, and coffee dehydrates you. So,
and so
I sat up. She got me a can of Coke, which I was like, thank you, this is good to get my blood sugar levels up. And she gave me a biscuit as well.
All the luxuries.
I don't know if you've ever tried to bite into a biscuit when you cannot feel your tongue.
No, because I've always been able to feel my tongue.
It's fucking impossible. I bit into this biscuit, and the next thing I knew was I have no fucking clue where this bit of biscuit is in my mouth. So I'm sat there with this bit of biscuit in my mouth. I'm trying to and obviously my tongue's like in pain, so I'm trying to well, it's not in pain, but I can't feel it. And obviously, it doesn't really have much movement at this point. So I'm trying to move this bit of biscuit to a point in my mouth where I know I have feeling.
That must. I can't imagine how weird that is. Like putting something in your mouth and not knowing it's there.
Yeah, you know it. No, you know it's there. You just don't know where it is.
I just don't know where. I sat there and I got through that bit, and I was like, "That is a weird sensation, biting a biscuit with a numb tongue." The fucking nurse turns around and she's like, "Oh my god, I completely forgot what your procedure was." She was like, "Please don't choke." I was like,
"This is a questionable hospital." Like they don't sound like they're fully in tune and doing anything by the book.
But I mean, I was in and out of there in 40 minutes.
So they probably weren't doing it by the book. They probably did it some dodgy way.
They probably tried to get it as quickly as possible.
The letter that I got initially said that it would turn up at this time and you might have to wait an hour or so for your procedures to happen. But I was able to I sat down for 5 minutes. My doctor ran me through what was going to happen, and then that was it. I just got straight onto the bed and the procedure happened. Because I'd had a consultation and stuff before. So, but yeah. So for the first, I'd say 3 hours, I was in no pain at all because it was just numb. But I just couldn't really move my tongue. And then the numbness started to wear away and the pain started to kick in. And so Tuesday I couldn't move my tongue at all. Wednesday I was back in work and I could barely move my tongue. Thursday got a bit better. Today, to be fair, it's got better. I can...
You probably don't realise how much you move your tongue without knowing.
Yeah, so the only thing that actually causes me pain now is if I say a word that causes my tongue to shoot back.
Yeah.
Or if I'm eating food, and obviously I don't think about it because it happens subconsciously, but when you're chewing at the front of your mouth and then you go to move it to the back of your mouth, the tip of your tongue basically almost flicks it back there.
It's like when have you ever had a quick neck? You ever had that?
Quick neck?
crooked or crooked,
Crooked.
like a crooked neck, like where you like if you like sleep on it funny or something, and you
Yeah.
can't move it any way to the right,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
completely forget about it, and then you go to do it, and it just like kills your neck.
I mean, I can move it now. Like, there's no problems with it. And
Can you curl it now?
Or curl it back, or like
Well, because that was the whole thing. Was that me and Dunk were curling our tongues, and then you were like, "I can't do it because it's stuck to my teeth."
It's still a bit swollen and like tender, like at the bottom of my mouth right now, so I can't do a huge amount with it. But
I wonder what words make you like use the back of your tongue.
But the problem is that obviously, like for 24 years, my tongue's just been used to developing with a tongue tie. So, like curling my tongue and stuff, I probably still won't actually be able to do because my muscles haven't developed to do that. So it'll take me time to get into that. But I'm just looking forward to being able to actually stick my tongue out my mouth.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
it is a crooked neck, not a crooked neck.
Well, the way you sounded made it sound like the way you said it. I'd say. I thought you said quick. Could you go crick? You saw
Crick.
crick.
I thought you said neck, like quick.
Because I think the way Dunk speaks is he uses more of his lips and his tongue. I don't think Dunk has a lisp, but
I have a lisp.
well, you have a slight one where you sort of And when you said crooked, you went.
I had a slight lisp, but I don't know if I'm going to have one now because of my tongue.
Lisp.
I have a lisp because I have a fat tongue that doesn't fit in my mouth.
I still have one now because I just can't actually move my tongue properly. So, but yeah, that was my Tuesday.
I mean, I was interested that your body went into trauma because it had been injected with anaesthetic.
I don't know if it's because I was either got an allergy to anaesthetic or if it's just purely because I'm a fucking wuss and I hate needles. I'd like literally watching a needle go into my mouth and then knowing that someone was in there with scissors, basically.
Yeah, it's probably because you couldn't feel it, but you knew it was happening. And then
well, yeah, that's the problem. I couldn't actually feel it. I knew it was happening, and
you should have just been like, just hold on a minute, Doc. Let me lie back and close my eyes and tell me to open them when it happens. When it's done.
I don't want to say I've got like a fear of needles and stuff, but they do creep me out a bit. Like I don't like them, and so obviously I couldn't feel it, but my body was going through the trauma. Just because I can't feel it doesn't mean my body's not going through a shit ton of trauma at this point.
Is that the first time you've passed out?
No.
To clarify, I think he doesn't mean passed out drunk. I mean passed out.
Yeah, no, I did one of those. Well, I mean, I didn't pass out at this point, but I felt like I was going to. But I did pass out. Wait, did I pass out?
I don't know, did you?
Didn't pass out. No, I almost passed out. Yeah, no, I almost passed out. Have I passed out? Yeah, no, I have passed out once before at home, actually. I don't know if you boys get it, but when you get up too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just your whole head, like...
It's like when you used to do that thing where you, like, spin around. What is it? Have you ever done that before?
Spin around, like 4 times.
Yeah, when I was
spin around, crouch down, like, bite your thumb or whatever, or, like, blow really hard and then stand up and you, like...
Yeah, like a head rush.
I watched someone do this once in Ukraine. And it fucking terrified me. Like I was in school, like after school production or something. And no, this was like it was something similar to that, but like it finished with the guy standing up against the wall. He was breathing like really short breaths and really quickly, and his mate was pushing on his chest.
Oh God!
Yeah. And he just fucking passed out. I was sat there like Ukraine. Me was like, what the fuck?
I don't know why someone would do that. To be honest, like why do you want to pass out?
Fucking Jesus!
Get out of the lesson. I don't. Yeah, I know what you mean when you get up too quickly. Sometimes your head's just a bit like you almost feel sort of hungover.
You gotta like take a second or two to just compose.
But I haven't ever passed out.
Basically, I didn't stand still and compose myself. I was like, "Nah, you're a big boy. You can get through this." Went in to say goodnight to my parents and fainted on their bed. It mean I got to stay up and watch Match of the Day though, so
nice.
Can't complain about that. But yeah, no, I mean I've been close to passing out a couple of times and I've had blood taken, but or when I had to take it myself at home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah. Obviously there's that. I just don't like small incisions in the skin. It weirds me out.
Yeah.
Good luck with the
I don't
COVID vaccine,
but-
then.
I don't like any incisions in the skin.
Like the idea of getting a tattoo is something that actually excites me. Like I like the idea of getting a tattoo. I want a tattoo.
Christ, God knows how you'd cope with one of that. You'd pass out.
Well, yeah, this is the
multiple
thing.
times.
But then if someone actually has to draw blood from my finger or something, I'm like,
Have you seen like the ink sacs that you can get from getting tattoos?
no.
Oh, I mean, the name sounds horrible, but I kind of think I know what you
It doesn't
mean.
sound nice.
It's just like just like ink underneath like a layer of skin, which you can like push about like after getting a tattoo.
Oh,
disgusting. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
is it like ink that leaks in? Or
I
is it?
don't know
Or do you
what it
mean
is.
like on the? Do you mean like on the tattoo itself, where you can like move it about, or do you mean like on a different part of skin?
I don't know what it is, to be honest. Like it's where the tattoo is.
Ink
It's
sacs.
why but to be fair, it's why I hate the idea of ever getting old and having to be in hospital all the time and having loads of like shit stuck in your hands. Because
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that looks. What is? Oh God! What have I just seen? Oh, it's an ink bubble. Oh.
it's an ink bubble.
No, honestly, it looks awful. Like it genuinely looks like a It's like she spreads it back up her arm. Oh, that's so weird. How can I sort of share this?
No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. So please do not.
He's like, at least
It's
types in what is it?
it's a normal part of the healing process and occur when specialist plastic is covering the tattoo called Saniderm. Saniderm? Yeah. This is done to prevent the tattoo from scabbing and seals in the plasma and keeps it in its liquid form while letting the tattoo breathe.
Well, it's just like, at what point is it inside your body, or is it just sort of on the,
No,
just
it's
under
not.
the skin?
It's not under the skin. I've just read.
I'm not looking at it because
Someone puts like plastic, like over the tattoo.
Oh yeah, like cling film.
Yeah, but it's like like it's not like
Cling film.
it's apparently a specialist.
It's not kitchen.
What I saw
It's
didn't
not
look
cling film.
didn't look normal. But okay. I mean, there is one more thing I wanted to bring up from Welly's week.
Oh, go on.
I just wanted to question you on the boat, really, and if you realised how much of a ponce you looked.
Do you want
Go further.
to without?
I mean, you were on a boat eating profiteroles.
Yes.
Who do you think you are?
People eat stuff on boats.
I also had a Cornish pasty.
Nice. You realise people can eat food on boats, Jan?
What am I meant to do? Step off the boat to eat food?
You could eat something normal and not posh, like profiteroles. Just have a
Profiteroles are
sandwich.
not
You can buy them for fucking £5.
Right, yeah, at home, but not on a fucking boat.
They're the same one.
You still buy them from the same place.
One.
Fancy fucking profiterole.
Not every person has a boat. Not every person has cutlery and plateware on a boat. Not everyone.
Every person that owns a boat has cutlery on their boat. I can guarantee you that.
Depends on the boat.
It's like
and who the hell has a boat?
People.
A lot of people have boats.
It's not my boat.
Whose boat was it?
My girlfriend's parents.
Oh well, there we go. That answers everything then.
What does it answer, Jam?
What am I meant to do? Just say no. Sorry, fuck off. Take your boat
sorry, can't date you because your dad has a boat.
What's that? Your parents have a boat? Oh, it's never gonna work.
Well, we know
Sorry.
why. We know why he's in the relationship now.
What's that? Profiteroles on the boat? Oh, fucking
I'm just saying, okay, if that was to happen north of the Midlands, you would be. It wouldn't happen. Straight fact, it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, because there's no nice place to take a boat.
Yeah, and your boats
like,
are still
up
fucking
north.
coal powered. So
And what, yours was wind powered? Was it?
Could have been. Who knows?
You know, the wind powered boats that have been around since the Stone Age.
gas.
Oh yeah, because that's different from coal.
Yes.
It comes in the same form. Coal and gas are both fossil fuels.
Yeah, but isn't one a solid?
It's a
and
solid
water?
with a liquid.
How are you powering a boat with gas? Like, what's the...
No, but fucking petrol, diesel, one of the two.
Where does petrol come from?
Yeah, but they're not the same, are they? That's what
Oil.
I'm saying.
I mean,
Oil.
oil and where does oil come from?
The ground.
Where does coal come from?
Where do potatoes come from?
Fucking yeah.
Yeah, but coal and oil are both fossil fuels because they both come from a fossil.
Guys, I've just solved global warming. Everything comes from the ground. Let's just power everything with fucking carrots. What is this argument?
Just saying, you just look like a bit of a ponce on a typical Southerner eating profiteroles on a boat on a Saturday.
If I get to go on a boat on a Saturday eating profiteroles, I will look like a Southerner for all I care. Like, fucking sign me up, throw away the key, whatever you want.
It was peak Tory, all right, peak Tory.
It's not Tory.
I'm sorry. What? Oh yeah, what did you spend your Saturday? I was just on a boat with my missus eating profiteroles. How is that on the River Thames? How is that not Tory?
Just because something's not on a council estate doesn't mean it's Tory.
Doesn't have to be.
That's literally what anything like me or Welly do. You're like,
Not really.
That's a Tory move.
You both went and played football. There's nothing wrong with that.
You sure?
Yeah. If anything, it's more working class play football. If you played rugby or croquet, then maybe we'd have an issue.
Dunk thinks he can go to the pub and just drink however much and then drive home. That's pretty Tory.
Just being an idiot. In fairness.
That's not Tory at all.
That's just being an idiot and being very reckless and probably a bit... Well, it's quite typical Devon, like...
And I don't think that. That's just what people say because it rhymes with Devon. They say 7.
Yeah.
Just because it rhymes.
All right. Well,
some people probably do it, to be honest, but not a lot of people.
It's just a pretty standard boat, and all the food's bought from pretty cheap places like Asda and shit. So
I was waiting for you to say Waitrose.
no, it's like Aldi, the Asda.
Why eat profiteroles on a boat if you're not going to buy high-end profiteroles?
Profiteroles are all the fucking
You
same.
might as well splash out on some high-quality ones.
They're all the
Salted caramel
special
ones.
bakery.
Ones with like little bits on. I don't know.
It's not like I'm picking between fucking fish bones and caviar. It's profiteroles. They're all the same.
Would you say kayaking or canoeing is Tory?
No, not really.
So if I ate profiteroles in a kayak,
I don't think you would because there's not a level of comfort on a kayak as there is on a boat. In a kayak, you're going down. You're on like quite a rough river. He's on. Canoes aren't they the same as a kayak?
No, kayaks you sit in, canoes you sit on.
What's the difference?
Well, kayaks you're like in, aren't you? There's like a hole that you sit in, and like if it like capsizes,
right? Yeah, there's a little seat.
Just to finish this off, because there is a subject I want to get onto. It's not a fucking 50-foot yacht. It's a pretty simple boat that goes about 6 miles an hour on the River Thames. Not millions. Thousands of fucking people own them. And pretty much every single one of those people will eat food on the yacht because that is...
Yeah, they might have a sandwich, they might do some bacon butties, they wouldn't have profiteroles.
Not profiteroles.
Every boat that's been made in the last 10 years has a hob or an oven or something on it.
Yeah, I just said bacon butties, fine. You know, a sandwich or even a burger, not profiteroles.
Cornish pasties are the profiteroles where you draw the fucking line.
There's nothing wrong with Cornish pasties because it's a good lunch item. It's just right.
It's a bit of pastry with cream and chocolate on. That screams Tory.
If anything, if I'd had a fucking cheesecake or something, then I'd almost agree with you. But profiteroles you buy.
Profiteroles you can kind of have like as a snack.
Profiteroles, see, it's not the. it's the profiteroles are seen as quite a fancy dessert sometimes, or they traditionally are, right?
Yeah, traditionally, like what, 500 years ago.
Traditionally, women couldn't vote, but like that like what?
I've
Argument of
I've just googled profiteroles on a boat, and
this traditionally argument. You could that goes for anything.
True.
If you had croissants and orange juice, I'd be the same, because it's this sort of like fancy schmancy sort of French food that you just wouldn't have on a boat.
So are you saying they're fancy because they're French?
You must hate everyone in France then, because I'm telling you, they eat croissants pretty regularly.
Yeah, and the French are seen as quite bougie.
It's a breakfast. It's just a breakfast food.
If you tell me, if you went to France and you saw someone having, I don't know, fucking toad in the hole, you'd call them a tourist.
No, what? Toad in the hole?
Well, it's not very French, is it? That's a pretty foreign dish.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, but it's English.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you seeing someone in France eating an English food, just like you're seeing someone in English.
I think I think what's common. I think the French commonly know that they don't like English food because we don't have any taste, and the French are quite well knowledged on cuisine.
But
are they?
According to them, yeah.
Profiteroles aren't something that it takes millions of years to stew and master and make, and you've got to leave them in fucking kegs.
To be fair, they're quite difficult to make. Have you ever tried making profiteroles?
No, because you can buy them for £2. Like, I don't need to make profiteroles because they're cheap from anywhere.
Yeah, but it's experience, isn't it?
It's not like I bought some fucking forest gâteau from the island of Cambodia.
I mean, if there's any Americans watching, they're known as a cream puff, but that's I mean, they look completely different in actual fairness.
Fucking hell! I'm just gonna get one of those fucking what are those little snack boxes that you can make for the ham, cheese, and biscuits next time. Lunchables. I'm just gonna have some fucking Oreos for dessert.
I will do some market research on this and come back to you. We're
arguing about cream puffs because apparently cream puffs are too.
I will come back to you when I have consulted my friends who are all northern. Let's see what they say.
If I took that picture in front of a factory, would it be the same?
Did you notice who? Did you also notice who liked my tweet when I said it?
No.
Zixter, another northerner. I said it was peak. I said it was peak southerner.
There is one reason I will travel to the north, and that is to watch Man United play. Other than that, I will not step foot there.
What about the Lake District?
Too northern. Can you imagine taking a picture of profiteroles in the Lake District? They think you're
that would look bizarre.
Jan would think you're somewhere in fucking Cornwall.
I am telling you, I am not alone on this. It just looked odd.
Oh, you're not. You're right. You're not. Anywhere fucking north of Birmingham probably agrees with you, but it's also part of the country that I couldn't give a shit about at this point. So,
well, without that part of the country, this country wouldn't exist. So,
yeah, it's true. We'd be part of France. We'd all be eating our fucking croissants and baking our baguettes.
Yeah, and we'll be in our own little Celtic nation with the Scots and the Welsh and the Irish.
Exactly.
Which would be fine with.
Viva! Maybe that's a better way to have it, so we don't get.
So would Dunk though, because Dunk would be in this Cornish Empire or whatever they would be, even though he's in Devon.
You'd be fucking speaking Norwegian or some shit right now, Jam.
Oh, what's wrong with that? It's quite a good language.
Fucking everything. They eat fish that's like 1 million years old.
That's the Swedes.
Same fucking thing.
Pretty much the same country.
Yeah.
All right, let's just be stereotypical now.
Sorry. Traditionally, they're the same country, so.
Well, they're not.
Oh, jeez. I was going to say something.
I mean, anyway, you had a different topic of conversation anyway.
There is something I wanted to bring up. Something that potentially, I think everyone globally has heard of this week. And I don't know about you two, but for me was actually a very touchy subject. I think emotional is the right word for it.
I'm just waiting to see what fake
I'm
topic
pretty sure I
he
know
comes
what it
out
is.
with.
Yeah. Can't think of anything else that happened in the news to try and make a joke about. So, the European Super League. Obviously, the European Super League. Can't not talk about it. I think that has been in the headlines all week in England and the
everywhere.
UK. Yeah, I think probably all across Europe. I don't know about America, but I would not be surprised. Because it's Americans that are the fucking reason that this bullshit happened. Another thing to show why America is such a great fucking place.
I mean,
America. Obviously, we know some great Americans, and most Americans, that we know of are lovely people and everything for them. But unfortunately, yes, it was a minor group of Americans that are incredibly fucking greedy and care about nothing other than filling their own pockets. Wanted to form a breakaway league that completely ruined sport. Which, do you know what? So someone I was speaking to used the whole. Well, obviously, as you can see, a Miami Dolphins fan. Someone used the whole. It's basically just the NFL. Like, you like the NFL. What's the difference? And I think the difference is the NFL works. Like, it's been something that's been in place the whole time. The NFL didn't really start off as anything else. And the NFL is competitive because it's like they've ironed out the creases in it, and it works that way. And teams do have a much bigger say in what happens in it. But yeah, it was obviously Jam. I know you'd like to pull out the whole. Glad I'm not a fan of a big club at this point.
Well,
but,
I'll give my 2 cents as someone who supports a club that's no way involved in this, and has probably nowhere near any of this anyway. I hated it as much as everyone else. I wasn't as emotionally invested, but I would have absolutely despised it going through. It actually put me off wanting to play Football Manager for a few days because, like, I don't even want to look at football right now. But, and this is in no way support of the current proposal and the reasons behind it. If this was, because it's been discussed in the past. Everyone's gone about, what about European Super League? And everyone's gone, okay, interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's obviously thought about it being never going to happen.
There's been multiple Football Manager databases that people go.
Yeah, exactly. If this was an idea that was put forward by UEFA as a completely sanctioned tournament like the Champions League to either replace the Champions League or to replace something else, I think it would be fine. Because there'd be reasons for footballing reasons to do it. Say the Champions League was abolished because it got too big, and they went, right, instead, we're going to have a European Super League, and it's going to comprise of the league winners from the top 5 nations, maybe the top 2, for argument's sake.
The problem is that, obviously, UEFA came out with their restructuring of the Champions League, and there's a lot of similarities between the two.
The only reason the UEFA are making the Champions League bigger is because it makes more fixtures and it makes more revenue.
It does, but they're doing it in a league format.
Yeah, they're doing it in in a way that is legal and followed. It doesn't make it right. It is still. I mean, it's not right.
No, I don't like UEFA's new proposal, especially the whole coefficiency could potentially save teams that finish 5th or 6th in their league, but because they've done so well years previously, they automatically
coefficiency is quite a good system.
It's a great system. It is a great system, yeah.
And for those who don't know, it's basically the way that it ranks each nation in Europe, or each nation that's part of UEFA. It ranks basically the quality of the league based on the league competitiveness and the league and how each team does in Europe. So England, Spain, Germany, Italy, and France are always near the top because their teams do really well in Europe and the league's competitive. Then you've got places like Scotland, where you've really only got 2 teams who compete for the title every year. Their coefficient is really low because the league's not very competitive. As a result, Rangers and Celtic, despite being the decent sides they are, always get shoved in the very, very early qualifying rounds of European competitions. They then sometimes slip up and don't make it into the latter rounds, although Rangers obviously did quite well. Celtic didn't, so maybe it's improved slightly. Yeah. And it's like it's a cycle that carries on and on and on. And without some miracles happening or some serious investment into other teams in the league, it's not likely to make any big jumps and make up big ground.
Yeah, no.
So, scrapping that sort of idea would mean they'd have to find another way of doing it, or they'd do it in a way that would just favour the big teams. So, co-efficiency on that point really works, and it changes all the time. And if one team from England lets the rest of the team down, England they may end up losing a qualification place, which would be a disaster for the league. Everyone would be uproar, but it works.
And that's, I think, the thing that upset people most about this whole breakaway league is the fact that it was non-competitive. It was 15 teams that were guaranteed, no matter what they did domestically, to be in there season upon season upon season. And then obviously it came out with how much money they were going to make off of it, which was supposedly going to be money they were going to put back into the football pyramid, which was bollocks. You might have seen an extra 50, 100 million go back in, but there was a good 200 million there that was just going to be pocketed by the owners. And ultimately, it would have just created such a divide that it just would have ruined football at that point. Like the top six or big six at that point would have literally been the big six forever, because you just would never have seen another club be able to compete financially. So all the best players, as soon as one player came up from a team like Southampton or whoever who had an inkling of world class to their play, they would have just been signed like that, because they would have just had the money to do it. But obviously, I think for Duncan, myself, obviously United were one of the clubs supposedly spearheading it, which is disappointing to know, because that's not United. It's completely the Glaciers, who, in my opinion, and this is, I'm going to put this politely for Twitter, they can fuck off to like literally the be all and end all of the devil's arsehole, because they are scum. And it's ultimately it was them, and the fact that Madrid and Barcelona are so poorly managed financially that, I mean, I don't know if you saw some of the stuff Florentino Perez came out and said, with how maybe young people don't find football interesting now, so maybe we should shorten the games. Like, what the
Yeah.
One thing that was really, and I don't know if you two picked up on it, is the PR company that the European Super League got was the same PR company that made Boris Johnson the Mayor of London. So that explains a hell of a lot of the poor communication. Yeah. It explains a hell of a lot of the U-turns and some of the stuff that Florentino Perez came out with.
And then obviously you've got the whole fact that JP Morgan are the same company that Ed Woodward used to work for. They're the same company that were kind of within the whole fronting of the Glaciers buying United in the first place, and they were supposedly going to be the ones that were financing the league. But yeah, just United and Liverpool, just greedy American owners that don't care about anything. They've all come out and said, we apologise. Like,
it's very hollow.
Yeah, we don't ever want to disappoint the fans, and the fans always at the forefront. It's like, fuck off. What you want to do is line your pockets as much as you can, and you've just been caught up in so much heat that you basically can't fucking stay in the kitchen any longer. And obviously Madrid and Barcelona are just so poorly fucking managed financially that instead of doing the reasonable thing of saying, okay, let's look at where we can cut costs, they've just gone, how can we make more money to spend more money? Which
I mean, just this week, Real Madrid gave David Alaba a 4-year deal at $500k a week.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, cut that off. You've got Gareth Bale out on loan at Spurs, but he's on $600k a week, I think. It's just stupid. And they got Hazard. I know they've got that whole Galactico thing that they like to sign players for, but you do not need to be paying people $500,000 a week.
Not unless you can finance it.
Yeah, in order to get just like by all means, I think top clubs absolutely in this day and age should have the ability to sign one, maybe two players who are on big contracts. Because at the end of the day, that's the best players are going to be the most money, and it should obviously, and there should be that element of you pay them and it works out perfectly, and you go on to win 3-4 league titles, Champions Leagues with them in your squad. But alternatively, there is that then it absolutely capitulates in itself, and you fuck up and you struggle financially. There's teams that have done that, like Sunderland, for example. Not to the point where they were paying people $500,000, but they were a big club at one point, and now they're in League One, struggling. But yeah, I just for me it was shit seeing United's name so close to the
United
top.
fans got a bit of a plus out of it with the fact
Yeah,
that
well,
Edward
Woods
resigned.
Apparently, he was going anyway. Rumored he was
I-
going at the end of the season, which I don't believe.
You don't know if he was or not.
Apparently he was going anywhere. Apparently he was against the whole Super League stuff, and he voiced his concerns.
The thing is, he actually might have, but he just wouldn't have been listened. A lot of these chief executives have been just being the front pieces to the owners.
Ultimately, it needs to be the Glaciers that need to go, or that needs to lead to. I think there's got to be an introduction of like German football has. I think it has to be that 51 rule.
Yeah,
where
but
fans have the majority ownership or have that.
The problem with that is it does mean it cuts away a lot of the finance. Like you look at German clubs and why they sell some of their big players because they can't afford the big players.
But at the end of the day, the Bundesliga doesn't have the same broadcast revenue. It doesn't have the same sponsorship revenue.
You'd be surprised. Look at the amount of money each team gets from the league, and
they
compare it to the rest of the league. Because they get a heap.
They do.
Being in the league.
Bundesliga clubs aren't poor. They're not massively they're very well managed when it comes to financial structures. But I still think the Premier League would blow it out of the water for the money it would still make with that rule in place.
I also don't know how they would implement it. It'd have to come from the government because the leagues themselves, the Premier League would not implement it themselves because it would mean that how are you going to sign into law that owners need to relinquish so much power? Like unless it's written into law, they won't do it.
Like so, for me, if bringing this rule into place meant, I don't know, Pogba had to leave on his salary, and you maybe had to then sell someone like Martial, and then I don't know, someone else, and you maybe had to get rid of De Gea as well. I would sacrifice that in order to make sure that the league as a whole is in this 50-1 rule. If it meant that things were more competitive and clubs weren't going to be in a case of where owners were just trying to put more money in their pocket. And like, I would rather see United in 5 years' time win the league by getting 63 points.
I think everyone would.
Yeah, then see them win the league in 5 years' time by spending millions and millions and millions and getting 95 points and finishing 20 points ahead of any other team. Like, even if it's only two clubs that are up there at the end of the season challenging for it, the thing with the Premier League is obviously, as much as it's exciting watching a title race, it's just as exciting watching those European races and the teams that are fighting for relegation. Like, I think at the moment the most exciting thing is who's going to get fourth spot and who's going to then get fifth, sixth, and seventh. Because there's so many teams that can do it this season, and obviously you've still got. I mean, I don't think the relegation fight is pretty much over at this point, but you've obviously then got the championship promotion spots. And that is ultimately what makes football. And I think that's what everyone was pissed off with, and what upset most people is that this league was a closed competition that literally was just a glorified friendly competition.
Yeah, and it would have appealed to the Asian, American, and other markets.
Oh yeah,
it would appeal to everywhere but Europe, really.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, any other market that can't attend. But that's the problem with it as well. The football games wouldn't have been played at Old Trafford. They wouldn't have been played at Anfield. They wouldn't have been played at the Bernabeu. Sure, the league matches might have been. But as soon as the knockout stages are there, you know for sure those knockout stages were were being played as one-off games in Singapore, Hong Kong,
Yeah.
China, the Middle East, Dubai.
I mean,
it just
La Liga as a league, and the Italians have done this a little bit too, with so in Europe, their Super Cups, which are like our Community Shields, seem to be taken a hell of a lot more seriously over there because they're not played as pre-season events; they're played as the two best teams in the league.
But didn't a Spanish League at one point get played in
Qatar? Yeah, and I think the Italians have done it as well. So those two
Yeah.
leagues in particular, and Spain have talked about playing the 38th game, 39th game, whatever it is, an extra league game abroad. I think the Italians as well. It's because the reason is because those two leagues make nowhere near as much money as the Premier League. The Premier League makes so much more money than the other four leagues.
I mean, the thing is, don't get me wrong. If someone turned around, if the Premier League turned around and said, "By the way, the Community Shield from this season onwards is going to be played across the world. Like this season, we're going to play it in Dubai. Next season, we're going to play it in China. The season after that, it's going to be America." Like, I couldn't care less because we see the Community Shield as a pre-season game.
Sure, and to be honest, that's probably why it's not played abroad.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't sell very well.
Sure, it's nice, but if someone turned around and went, "Oh, by the way, the FA Cup or the last game of the Premier League is going to be played abroad," people would be up in arms about it. Like, it's just. Yeah, I mean, it was just a disaster the moment it was announced. All this bullshit of we obviously want to make sure the fans are put first. They knew what the reaction was going to be. They knew the fans' reaction. I think they knew what the fans' reaction was going to be.
They just didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was.
No, I even think they thought the fans' reaction would be as bad as it was. I think they expected protests. I think they expected fans to kick off and ask for them to leave. But what I don't think they expected was the other clubs coming together against it, the government getting involved against it.
Yeah, supporting the leagues and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose
because
so.
At the end of the day, sure, go join a league where you're going to make an extra 400 or 500 million a year, but you're going to lose a shit ton more than that if you're not playing domestic football, if you're not getting the broadcast rights from that, if you're not supported from any of the Premier League or ESL packages, like anything like that. Like, you lose out on all that money, it's going to be a hell of a lot more. It's like, and that doesn't even take into account sponsorships, merchandise revenue. Sure, you could sell 1 million, 2 million shirts across Asia, but you're not going to do that every season. But you're also not going to get season ticket money.
But I mean, you say this, but eventually, I think the fans would just give in, and they would just. And I think a lot of people would say, I'm not for the Super League, but I'm going to watch it because it might be on Amazon, and you have Amazon Prime, and you think I might as well watch it.
This is it as well. Sky, Amazon, they all came out against it.
Well, that just takes the biscuit though. When Sky and BT come out against it, saying it's killing football. When Sky and BT have been charging ludicrous subscription fees to watch it.
They have. But
and it all started in 1992 when Sky were part of the people who brought in the Premier League.
So that whole argument of how can they talk about this when the Premier League was brought in? Sure, the Premier League disrupted football. It did cause issues. But it wasn't like they opened a competition that no one else could get to.
No, I agree. Yeah. It was just that they've made the gap so much bigger between the top 20 and the rest.
But this was my point as well. If they introduce that European Super League, say the owners introduce that as we've got an independent board that have come on and they're going to be in charge of this. And the way you qualify for this European Super League is the top 15 teams that win the top 15 divisions across Europe on the coefficiency that season, the champions of those leagues will qualify for this competition, and there will be 5 extra spaces for the top 5 rated teams coefficiency-wise outside of that. And then 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the Premier League go to the Champions League. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Spain go to the Champions League. If it was a competition that the champions of the top 15 or 20 divisions across Europe rated coefficiency wise that season qualified for, I would be for that.
Well, you've just described the Champions League.
Yeah, well,
its original format is when it was known as the Champions Cup, and then you had the Cup Winners' Cup.
That's it. But don't get me wrong, the Champions League is still like as thrilling as ever. I think at this point, I still thoroughly enjoy watching the Champions League and the Europa League for that matter. And it's great to see some teams push forwards in it, like you do. I mean, Dynamo Zagreb this season, Slavia Prague are in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. But it just comes down to that. I think it's the whole point that it was a closed competition that got people, and I was fully committed to if it went ahead and United went for it and left the domestic league and stuff, I wouldn't have supported United at that point.
Yeah, I was fully committed to just.
Where would you have gone to?
I'm a Plymouth fan now.
Yeah, I'd just started supporting
See,
Plymouth.
I like I like the idea of that, but then there is the sort of thinking of if that's how you're going to treat the club you love, what's to say you're not going to do something similar to another club you go to, and then your allegiances just change. If your allegiances can change so quickly.
Yeah, but it's not that they were going to change so quickly. Like my love for United would still be there.
It's just you'd start supporting someone else.
Yeah, my underlying love for United and the players and the manager and stuff, that's not going to go away. But if United as a name had been signed up to this European Super League, I can't support that.
No,
I couldn't. I couldn't sit there and watch. Don't get me wrong, United come up against Madrid, Barcelona, Milan, for example, in that Europa League. We haven't played Milan in years. And those two games
of your former selves.
Yeah, those two games finished 0-0 and 1-0, I think.
Yeah, it was never going to be great football.
This is the point. It wasn't an exciting football game, but the history behind it and the fact that these two European giants at one point had fallen, not so far, but had fallen to the point where they were facing each other in a competition that, United had won previously, but Milan haven't. United haven't won the league since 2012. Milan haven't won the league since 2010, I think it is. And
this
Milan
is part of the argument. This is part of the argument. It's two teams that aren't as good as they used to be. It's just that they make the most money.
Milan haven't qualified for the Champions League in God knows how long. So, but this is my point. In the Europa League, this two-legged tie, this one-off situation where United were facing Milan again, was exciting. Seeing United come up against Roma in the semi-finals now, I mean, as a United fan, there is one thing that sticks out about playing Roma.
Chris Smalling.
Well, yeah, okay. Yes,
I genuinely don't know. So
you've got Chris Smalling and you've got everything, but there is a historic Old Trafford night against Roma, which I think the score was 7-1.
Yeah.
Might have been 8-1 to United. 7-1. 7-1 at Old Trafford against Roma back in, when was this? 2006, 2007. That is for a United fan, like obviously across football, it's known to people, but it's not like something that people are pride upon. But for United, that's a historical night, and you don't play Roma every year. I can't remember the last time we faced Roma.
Yeah, it's like that. Liverpool AC Milan game.
Yeah, other than that, but and obviously United Barcelona. Like if you think about United Barcelona, you're thinking about the semi-finals back in 2009 when we made it to Moscow to get to the final against Chelsea, or you think about the final in 2012 at Wembley. Like these are special occasions that clubs dedicate a season of fighting to. United playing against Barcelona every single season just is boring.
Yeah.
Like I went, obviously, I mean, you guys know I went up to 2 United games just before lockdown kicked in. I went to Club Brugge in the Europa League, and I went to the City game, the Manchester derby. I enjoyed the Club Brugge game just as much as I enjoyed the City game for different reasons. The City game was great. It was a 2-0 win against City. Like, there's nothing better than seeing a Manchester derby win.
Mm.
But watching us beat Club Brugge 5-0 and comfortably get through to the next round of the Europa League, and knowing as well that I have friends who were Arsenal fans who then bottled it that night, but just being there watching a 5-0 victory so comfortably overcome another team in Europe, it's just that, and that's the point. Is I just think it was a complete buffoonery to what football is, and I don't think these owners have a clue what football is.
They
I
don't.
don't.
And the thing is, they don't care because they're not in it for the football. They're in it for the business.
They're in it for the money.
The same way, you look at Stan Kroenke at Arsenal. He owns the LA Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It's a money machine.
Well, look at the Glazers. They own Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah.
Tampa Bay have just gone and won the Super Bowl.
I forgot about them. FSG, you've got stuff in Fairway Sports. You've got stuff in Boston.
Yeah, they own the Red Sox.
Yeah, so it's
So they own American sports teams.
They might have an interest in sport, but their heart is in ownership.
Again, this is my point: is the people that are saying, "Well, the Super League's just basically what the NFL is." It's not. I love the fucking Dolphins because at the end of the day, the NFL. I know if the Dolphins are shitting this season or the next season, there's going to come a point where they're not. They're going to gradually start getting better because the NFL is set up to this point where teams can almost kind of balance the books against one another.
The NFL,
you can't do that
because the league came first and then the teams did.
Yeah.
The reason why it wouldn't work in Europe is because all the clubs are all so established and it's already put down. You can't make a league run by clubs because that means there's no impartiality, there's an elitist bias. The NFL has no preference to teams, better performing teams, as much as people will try and whine and argue that there isn't. Everyone has the same amount of money, everyone has the same amount of wage.
Yeah, it's a completely different sport.
They do.
You can't say it's gonna work the same.
But, I mean, all you've got to do with the NFL is look over the last 10 years. The last, I would say 3, 4, maybe 5 years, you have the Chiefs who have probably, I wouldn't use the word dominated, but have, probably over that time been the best team in the NFL. 5, 6 years before that, I don't really think the Chiefs were much to brag about.
No, probably not.
And I mean, just take the Patriots, for example. Like the last year, the Patriots they made the playoffs, were nothing really. They just weren't anything. Like they didn't look that good. Season before that, they were incredible. Like that is part and parcel of what is so enjoyable about the NFL is it can change.
Always changing.
It can change that quickly with how good or how bad a team is. But yeah, it's like Jam said, you can't introduce that into football into something that's been established for so long. And I mean personally to kind of round it off, I was very glad to see that the European Super League was shut down within kind of the first 48 hours. Even if
it was actually quite mental how quickly it went.
Even if that fucking tool at Madrid still thinks it's going to happen. He's
a very. I'm surprised Real Madrid fans still like him and want him there.
I don't think most Madrid fans want him.
Most Madrid fans are idiots, to be honest. They have their idea of football and their idea of success is so sort of.
But that's the problem. Is
weird.
so many English clubs. If you take an English club down to its bare bones, is loyal, centuries, families going back along the family line, supporters of that club. Whereas Madrid, sure you've got Madrid fans in Spain, but oh my god, the number of Madrid fans that are on Twitter that are 12, 15-year-olds or are from America or India or China or somewhere in Africa or like somewhere that's not Madrid. It's ridiculous.
It's to be fair, you could. A lot of the big clubs are like that. You get
Yeah, they are. But
a lot of people from Liverpool aren't Liverpool fans. A lot of them are Everton fans, and
that's
people
the modern
who
world.
aren't from Liverpool support Liverpool.
United has like a huge fan base in Singapore and across China. United is a huge club, which I like. It's a business. Take advantage of it. Like, absolutely, go out there and push your merchandise. Make sure you have. United have so many fan arenas in these countries where fans can go to watch the games at certain times, and they'll send club legends like Andy Cole, Nicky Butt. I think even Steve Bruce, when he wasn't managing, was going out to these places. Dwight York being another one. Absolutely send these people out there. Don't take advantage, but make the most of the opportunity you have in these places. But don't then all of a sudden think that that's not enough, and you're going to have to start moving games out to these places. That's what pre-season is for.
Yeah.
That is literally what pre-season is for, is to go around, absolutely play against City, play against Madrid, play against Barcelona pre-season, and do it in Singapore, do it in Japan, do it wherever you want to fucking do it, like where it's going to make the most money. Because at the end of the day, I want United to have the funds to be able to buy players. That's what I want United to have funds for. But don't think that because a pre-season tournament works, you can all of a sudden up stick and move the whole fucking thing there. Because that's just it doesn't work. You make a great point, to be fair. As an NFL fan, I can 100% see why you don't want games in the UK. And obviously, from my perspective, I see why people want the games here, because I've been to to one of the UK NFL games, and it was the Jets against the Dolphins, and I loved it because I got to see the Dolphins play. But absolutely, I can see why you wouldn't want it, because at the end of the day, as a fan, if you're a season ticket holder, like if I was a United season ticket holder, I mean, even for you, Jam, if Stockport, if you were a season ticket holder for them, and they turned around and went, "Oh, by the way, we're going to play one of our games this season. We're going to play one of our games over in Brazil."
It'd be very it'd be.
We've got a fan base out in Brazil, and we want to do a game over there. Like you would kick up.
The only argument I'd make about the NFL on that, in support of more regular season games and potentially a franchise, is because the distances that are covered. You have to remember, America is a big ass place.
Absolutely.
The distances that are covered in European football, mainly in domestic leagues, are so tiny in comparison. Some of them are only
they are
less than 20 miles apart.
I think that the difference is for me, it's great seeing 2-3 games happen over here, and obviously that number's going up, but it does mean that's less numbers in the US, which not only is it a game that you can't attend, as if you're a Packers fan living in Green Bay and you then find out that there's a game in the UK, that's a big time difference.
The thing is, though, being a Packers fan, is the way it's set up is it's different from a lot of different teams. I think there is a huge waiting list to get a season ticket. There's a huge waiting list. There's like years waiting list to get a ticket for a game. The reason why the Packers have not played in the UK before is because the Packers is like it's a nationwide team. There is Packers fans in every city in America.
Mm-hmm.
And teams who host the Packers do not want to give up their home game to play the Packers, because they bring so much revenue in from Packers fans that are living in those cities. I am telling you, when the Packers play in the UK, 90% will be Packers fans in that stadium.
Oh yeah, most likely.
It will be unbelievable.
And I think it's the same for kind of any of the big names across the NFL. I think if you put the Packers in there, I think if you put Patriots in there, probably the Chiefs at this point, Seahawks, maybe even the 49ers.
The thing is, as well, is I see it as the same as when Americans say, "Oh yeah, I support that English football team." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you don't. You've never seen them play, etc., etc." I feel guilty because UK fans are exactly the same with the NFL. They've only ever watched them on TV. They might have only picked them because they were good. They might have only picked them because they liked the colours or they liked the logo. And if someone was to do that with our version of football, say someone in China said, "I only like Man United because they play in red and they were really good," you'd be like, "Well, you're just a fucking glory hunter. You don't know anything about it, yeah, etc., etc." Yeah,
Well,
it's almost the same over here with the NFL. So
I happen to go for the Dolphins, so.
But I think as well, I think UK fans, they almost like the struggle of being a fan. They like not being very good.
I think with the whole moving a franchise over here, though, I don't think it would ever work.
If they were going to do it, they'd have to do it somewhere else as well.
I just don't think.
Do one in Canada, do one in Mexico, maybe do one in the UK, and then you can see how it works. Maybe even do one in because they've done European NFL stuff before, and
they have. But the problem for me is how do you get a fan base from? Like, how do you convert enough of those fans that are Packers fans, that are Dolphins fans and stuff into supporting this UK NFL team?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the team that move over is here. Let's be honest, if it's going to be one of them, it's probably going to be the Jaguars at this point.
Well, I think the thinking is not that they would move, is that they would just add a new one in.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Which is even worse. Because
because then
they've essentially missed the boat on this. Let's be honest. Because what they've done is they've let a fan base for each team grow up to such a point that people are diehard in this country for their team. They are not going to change because there's a team based in London.
If the NFL started a UK franchise here, I'm not going to change them.
And why in the world would an American fan support them?
Yeah,
they wouldn't.
It would predominantly. You'd be better off setting one up in Munich or mainland Europe.
Well, why not have a franchise that is just like either from one country or is from the whole of Europe and just call it, I don't know, the EU.
Yeah,
or the European Lions or whatever. I mean, it would be terrible.
At that point, you're expecting a lot of people to travel a lot of distance.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The NFL has to stay in the US. It doesn't work. Like, by all means, obviously I'm in favour of the international series because it means there's a game in the UK, which
I think they can get away with it. They just have to keep it to East Coast. They just have to keep it to East Coast. It's not fair on teams out in the Midwest and in the West.
But I understand where you're coming from, because if United turn around and said we're going to play one league game in the US or in China or something, I'd be pissed. But
I suppose you have to then look at the fan levels. How many United fans are in America that are actual United fans? How many NFL fans of an ex-franchise are in the UK? You know, you have to sort of. It's probably quite even, actually.
It's like that whole fans of the future and legacy fan debate. I don't think the fans in these places outside of the UK or Europe are die-hard fans.
Yeah.
No.
They're not. They're fans that will support the club because they're good or they're winning games, but they will change their support to someone else quicker than you can snap your fingers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the UK fans like the struggle. They like, because it makes the makes the good times better.
For me, it like obviously being 24, the last 9-10 years as a United fan have been like probably the predominant 9-10 years that I've had memory of as a United fan. Obviously, like there's the inkling of the memories of the 2012 Champions League final and the Moscow night and all of this stuff. But if I'm going back in my memory of being a United fan, the stuff that I remember is within the last 10 years, which the last 10 years for United have not been anywhere near the 10 years before that. Like we've not been a team that have dominated. We've not been a team that have won everything and carried on winning everything. But I've had to sit here and watch teams like City, Liverpool, Chelsea do all of that. And we've had the odd win here and there. We've had that as Latam winner to win 3-2 against Southampton. We've had the Europa League win. We've had wins.
Well, hang on a minute. These are achievements, but they don't level on past achievements. Let's be honest.
No, but the
Carabao Cup and the Europa League.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is we've had those small wins along the way, but for me as a United fan, it's not been a smooth ride the last 10 years, and that's me agreeing with your point of I've enjoyed that kind of struggle, and I think we're at a point now where we're starting to build back into not being that dominant side that I think Fergie had, because I don't think that's ever going to happen again. But I think we're building into a side where, I think we're going to win a title in the next 3 or 4 years. I think we're going to push further in the Champions League, and that's what being a football fan is. It's going through the up and downs of everything, and enjoying it all the way. Like, sure, it pissed me off watching us lose 6-1 to Tottenham earlier this season, but then watching us win 3-1 at their place a couple of weeks ago was fucking great. And that is, and it's the same for my support for Plymouth. Like, I remember going to a League Two playoff final a couple of seasons ago where they played against Wimbledon and they lost. And then obviously last season they went up to League One, and they started this season off pretty strong and were just outside the playoffs points, and now Plymouth have been plummeting down the table because they're playing like shit.
Didn't they lose 6-0 last week?
Yeah, they did. But that's just part and parcel of being a fan of any sport, to be fair.
I mean, this is the thing, like, my club, my fans are happy to not get promoted back into the Football League this year if it means that they can do it next year with fans.
Yeah. But that
makes sense.
The football is nothing without the fans. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been great that every single game's been on TV, because it's going to be really weird when it goes back to most of them being 3 o'clock kickoffs and not being live, and having to find some dodgy stream from some Middle Eastern country where Richard Keys is the presenter.
Part of the fun, though.
Well, yeah, it is. But I mean, ultimately, it's my plan when I went to those 2 United games was to go to 2 or 3 more that season, and obviously I couldn't do it because that's when coronavirus kicked in. But yeah, I mean, I travel 4 and a bit hours to go watch United, and I'll happily do it again when things open up. But
what, going?
Are you that dedicated to travel even further than Welly?
Straight away, or like after some?
I think we're just in general.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Yeah, twice.
Okay. Judge the level of fanatic between the two of you.
Yeah. Well, one of them was like, I think back in 2015 or something. It was like it was against Norwich. I remember that, but it was quite a while ago. And then the other one was like 3 years ago, I think. My dad's business partner bid on like a VIP experience at United to give to my dad for like his birthday or something.
Jesus. That shit's expensive.
And he
won that. Thousands of pounds.
Yeah, so I mean, they've known each other for like 25 plus years or something. They've been in like business together for like a long time. So yeah, like as a present, he got my dad like a VIP experience for 2. So I went up with him to do that. We got like a meal before the game.
Yeah, my dad got that from one of his old business partners at one point.
It was really like interesting to see, and then you got the stadium tour as well, which was nice. But I definitely go up to travel, and see a game
But,
again.
yeah,
when
for,
releases.
for me, the whole journey up there and staying in some Premier
Yeah.
League just outside Manchester and stuff to then go into the game and watch it. Like, I enjoyed that experience just as much as actually being at the game. Like, it's and that is the whole point of being, I think, one of these legacy fans. Is that
Yeah.
no matter what, when the situation's there, you want to attend the games. Like, if it was down to me, I'd attend every single United game. If money was out of the equation and I was
Yeah, if I could,
I'd go every single week.
Yeah, I think I'd be the same with my team, even away games. The only one that would stop me is when it crosses over the cricket season, because cricket just means that little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it's the
and
only
that's
sport I actually play.
that's it. Like, I think if it came down to it, Miami were playing at the exact same time United were playing, I'd watch the United game.
Yeah.
You know, and every sport fan has that. If the F1's on at the same time that the football's on, I'll watch the football.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Because
Just where your priorities lie.
If I had the option to go, like, say if I had the option to go see either United play or like a NFL game or an NHL game, I'd probably choose like the NFL or NHL just because I'd do it for the experience, because I want to see what it's like.
yeah, don't get me wrong.
But if it was like a constant,
Yeah,
like if it was constant, would I go see United or
yeah.
so
Well,
I
that
said go see United.
obviously that NFL game that I went to was at Wembley, so it's in the UK,
Yeah.
so it's not the American experience, but it was still such a great experience to actually go and watch an NFL game live. And Miami lost that week as well to the Jets of all teams. This was back in like
I
2013.
suppose the ultimate question is, if money and jobs and housing was no real object, you could secure ideally whichever one you needed. So
say basically you were a billionaire with
no.
job.
So basically, what I'm saying is, would you move closer to Manchester to be able to watch United and be a season ticket holder?
No.
Yes.
Interesting. And the way I was saying it is that you wouldn't have to worry about getting a job. You wouldn't have to worry about getting a house. So say those two are taken care of, and you can do that, or you can do them easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to move, to be able to watch United on a regular basis.
Yeah,
as a season ticket holder.
100%.
Yeah, but you said like money was not a problem, so I wouldn't move. Money and jobs are not a problem, so I wouldn't move just because I would be able to travel there, like by plane.
I take it if you move up there, you get to go every weekend. If you don't move up there, then you're still going to struggle.
Yes.
Is the equation.
That's what I meant. When I meant money and job, I meant...
Yes.
I'm talking about in general. Moving means you sometimes you move because of work, sometimes you move because of family, whatever. I'm saying
would you move to be a season ticket holder?
If you wanted to, yeah.
You said if money was not a problem and if like a job was not a problem.
So basically, Jan's point is, like, moving, you're not going to have the problem of finding a job. You're not going to have the problem of being limited in money. You're not going to have the problem.
If I just said the blanket question of would you move closer if you could be a United season ticket holder, you'd probably both say no, because you'd be like, oh, well, what if I can't find a job? What if I can't find a house? If you take those two out of the equation and you know that they are safe, because whenever you move up there, you can do whatever job you'd want to do, and you can live within reason wherever you want to do, wherever about you want to live. You are the only thing you are literally changing really is that you are the only sacrifice really you're making is your family. Basically, what I'm saying.
So for me, I have actually applied for a United season ticket.
Right.
Because I know the waiting list for a United season ticket is something like 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
If I get that season ticket and I'm at a point in my life where it wouldn't uphold absolutely everything for me to move closer to Manchester, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I'm getting the feeling Dunk wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Because I'd rather live down here than live up north just to see football games every
Yeah,
week.
like, don't get me wrong. I don't think I could. Yeah, it's 10.
So
15.
that's
I think at
indicating
one
that
point-
football's not as big in your life as it is in Wellies.
Yeah, I think at one
United
point.
is
No, I'm saying the scenery, or not the scenery, but where I live is more important
Yeah, that's.
than
It's
football.
not necessarily
for me.
saying football's not as important to Dunk. It's just
Yeah.
that there's things that are
I'm just
more
saying,
important.
Okay.
But yeah,
like I care a lot about
Yes.
the like where I live.
Yeah, whereas
Like,
for me, don't get me wrong, I like where I live.
You've not seen it. It's lovely around here. There's hills.
But this is it. I don't dislike where I live.
I'm not saying you have to live in like the middle of Manchester, like
no,
Coronation
I'm
Street.
not. No, I know, but I'm saying I've seen places up north. Not saying that I've seen every place up north, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, I'd rather live down here.
The part of country that Dunk lives is, let's be honest, well known for being probably the nicest part of the UK.
Yeah, it's tourism, really. It's near the English Riviera.
It is probably the nicest part of the UK. So there's absolute and again, like, you can both be as into sport as each other, but obviously I might not have anything above that, whereas Dunk clearly does have something that he weighs above it. But I mean, look, when I'm in that position in the future, sure, there might come a point where something is more important.
I mean, I will offer a bit of a counter to that. Would I move away? If that meant I can't watch Stockport regularly, would I move away? Yeah, I would, because I don't want to live in Stockport for my entire life. So I'm using the opposite of Dunk's argument, where I live isn't the nicest.
Yeah.
Am I willing to sacrifice not being able to watch Stockport? Yes.
But
Is
for
it
me,
hard? Yes, because I had to do it at uni.
Even if this was something that I didn't do until I was, I don't know, retired, I would still love to, even just for 1 year, I would love to be able to just attend a United game every single weekend they were playing at home. I'd love it.
Yeah, it would be nice. But yeah, I don't think I'm as big of a football fan as you two.
Well, I mean, for me,
I think I make it out that I am more than I am, to be honest.
But still, I still think you two both. Oh well, I know that you two
probably more so.
Football.
For me, United takes priority over pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I will skip certain events if there is an important United game going on. I will.
Like, I'll pay attention to United, but I won't pay attention to other what else is happening in like football. Like I won't pay attention to like other leagues or anything like that. Whereas you,
but for me,
to a certain extent, obviously not. You're not like
for
keeping
me,
tabs on the scores of every single game in every other league in the world.
I think Jam can agree when it comes to European football and stuff. The Football Manager has a huge impact.
Yeah.
On that. But
I also think FIFA to an extent. Although I hate when people say that they're only interested in European football because of FIFA. I.e., is so and so going to get an inform or whatever? That drives me up the wall a bit. Because
but also for me, I am not that I get carried away with it, but I like putting a £1.50, £2, £2.50 on an ACCA on a weekend.
So you're a gambling addict?
I don't know, because I could stop any point I wanted to. And for me, no. But for me, it's not. Obviously, it's nice being able to turn £2 into 150 £150. But for me, actually, the thing this will, again, it will sound odd. The thing I enjoy most is I love reading into the stats about it. I like looking at, what a team's home form is like, how many goals they can get at home,
not really.
how many goals they score, how many corners they potentially get home compared to away. At one point I was looking into, how many cards on average does a referee give a game? Okay, he's refereeing these two teams. How many cards does this team tend to get in a home game? How many cards does this team average in an away game? Okay, well, you put the two of them together, divide it by how many cards how many fouls, this guy gives on average a game. okay, well, you're expecting this many fouls, which means you're going to be expecting X number of cards.
I've spent so much of my life being analytical. I can't be bothered with that.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fine. Like, you put, and this is it. You put me in a situation where I'm doing it for that purpose, and I'm doing it for football. I enjoy it because it's something I enjoy. And you put an analytic question in front of me that's something to do with, I don't know, cauliflower farm. I would fucking hate it. Like, it would drive me up the wall, and I'd give up straight away. But I like looking into all of that stuff, and when I'm putting, kind of these ridiculous £1, £2, 8, 10-fold ACCAs on that are like 150 to 1. I'm putting them on because I've tried to look into the stats, and most of the time, obviously, you don't win. Like, everyone knows that with gambling. Like 90% of the time, you don't win.
Yeah.
But I'll look at it as a sense of, okay, well, there was one thing I got wrong. I got these 2 things wrong. I got these 3 things wrong. And obviously, there's teams that I start to like favour. For me, the Belgium League, I fucking love putting the Belgium League in my ACCA because the chances of both teams scoring or over 2.5 goals in the Belgium League at the moment seems to be amazing. Like both teams seem to be like just conceding and scoring like there's no tomorrow. When it comes to cards, the Italian league is huge for cards. Like,
just all dive.
Yeah, and so is the Spanish league.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's it for me. Like, I'll spend 45 minutes sat here on a Saturday morning or a Friday evening putting an ACCA together for the weekend, just because I purely enjoy looking at the stats and checking it all over. And if I win something from it, I win. If I don't, it's £2 that I would have spent on a coffee that I'm losing. So it's not like I'm putting 15, 20 quid down every single time. Granted, the returns would be incredible if I did that, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I feel more than comfortable putting £1.50, £2 on for something that I'm actually putting research into, and I enjoy the research. But yeah, I mean, for me, football's just been. Football has pretty much been my life the entire time. There's not really anything that's as consistent as football when it comes to my life. So football's always been that, and I think it always will be.
See, like that for me was probably in towards the later years of school and all that was probably like CS:GO for me, like looking at the tournaments and all of that, and has now moved on to like Valorant, like the tournaments of that, and paying and keeping up with like the scores of different teams.
Yeah, I think it's good to kind of develop those interests and have that one thing that you kind of got that loyalty to and stick to. Like I could get up easily on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, have some breakfast, and I could easily watch the 12:30 game, a 3 o'clock game, a 5 o'clock game, an 8 o'clock game, go to bed, get up on Sunday, watch the 11:30, 12 o'clock kickoff, watch the next game, watch all the games up until 10 o'clock, and then that'd be the weekend over. I could easily do that.
And then go to work Monday, come back and watch a game.
Yeah. And I wouldn't expect most people to be able to do that because, but I mean,
I just have my mindset in these last couple of years because of working full time is making the most of every little bit of free time. As much as I love playing video games, I don't like the idea anymore of. I would love to be able to and not feel guilty about it, but sitting down and playing video games all day, if I can avoid it. I mean, I suppose in winter I kind of can't because it just makes the day go so much quicker, and it's like shit. The day's ended now. But like being in your position, where you were furloughed for God knows how many months, that would have been perfect because I would just feel like I would have been able to do it and not felt guilty about it.
It's literally the reason why I don't really stream at the moment.
Yeah,
because
obviously the weather going to.
Yeah, I know, but obviously the weather's getting nicer. I'm working until 4:30, 5 o'clock, and come 5 o'clock,
and it's getting lighter outside later. So
I'm looking outside and it's 15, 20 degrees. It's going to be light it's going to be light until 8:30, and
It's why my commitment to Football Manager has in these last couple of days has just dwindled because I've just come to the realization I can't do saves that are going to take 15 seasons. One, my attention span goes, and two, I don't have the time to commit to it.
Yeah.
So,
like, you know, if my friends message me and they're like, go for a kickabout at this current moment, I'm like, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, if my mates like came out, like said out of nowhere, like, oh, should we go do this? And I was planning on streaming, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, even if it was pub, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Whereas obviously in the winter, when you know it's a bit more depressing weather, there's not really, especially at the moment, there's not as much that you can do. It's a lot easier to sit indoors and just play video games at that point. So, yeah, it's a fun world we're living in, but it's looking brighter. Apparently, England is no longer in a pandemic.
yeah, I don't believe that when you see some of the images you see around the world.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what? And
the pandemic.
You know, it's unfortunately a shitty way the world's developed, but we are fortunate enough to live in a country that gets priority over others. You know, America's the same. I think most of big countries in Europe. Well, yes and no. But you know, we're fortunate enough to live in a place that gets the priority and things. So I think we are going to see the end of the pandemic before others, and I would like to think that we're coming up to that point. But
yeah, hopefully it's coming to an end.
Who knows? At the end of the day.
That's what people thought last summer.
They did.
And then it just didn't end.
But hey, either way, the podcast is still going to happen every week. So
I'm just looking at Dunk's monitors through his window, to be honest.
Yeah.
Trying to work out what he's doing.
I'm just flipping between tabs.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were doing because I was like, that looks like a weird Twitch stream.
For me, I haven't really found enjoyment in streaming recently, but I've loved doing the podcast and everything around it.
Yeah, I haven't found enjoyment in any games really recently.
Yeah, I've noticed that I don't think you can get attached to one and really grab hold of it.
Yeah,
no new games are coming out. Nothing is really like in its prime at the moment.
I haven't enjoyed it massively, but one thing
I'm a little bit different actually. I love watching Football Manager content. It just makes me want to stream Football Manager more because I feel like that's a really good growth method.
It is if you can get into Football Manager and
which is why I'm really trying again at it.
Yeah, because that's very specific, isn't it? Like,
it is. It's got an audience base that basically goes around different channels.
It's because it's only you can only get like one Football Manager game, really, can't you? Well, there's a couple of others, but they're not
there's one game.
I've got to a point with Football Manager at the moment though where I just can't bother to create my own tactics now. So I'm literally just using tactics from like FM base or something like that.
That's the worst.
Yeah, which obviously is
just put in a 4-2-3-1. It's fine.
It's fine for me because obviously I'm not streaming. I'm just playing like by myself, so it's fine for me. But as a streaming content, I don't think people really want to watch me use some creative tactic online. So, but I did win the German Cup with Bielefeld in the second season. So,
like I did play that new game earlier, which was quite fun.
Yeah, I saw you were on it. I looked it up on Twitch, and there was one person playing.
Yeah, it's because when I said about it earlier, I forgot that the servers didn't open till like 6 o'clock today.
Oh. So it's a battle royale, but it's got like a Japanese name.
It's like a Japanese battle royale.
Okay.
Where it's very heavily melee based instead of like gun based. You can get like the odd gun or two, but I'd say it's more heavily melee based.
Do you mean melee as in like swords?
Yeah, like you can get you can get like katanas, great swords, long swords, all of that, and you can get like a bow and arrow, crossbow, And there's like you can get a cannon or like a little pistol, but it's like pirate pistol, like slow firing, like not modern day pistols. It's not like that. It's quite interesting, and you've got a grappling hook as well. It is free at the moment because it's in beta for this weekend.
Have a look.
But yeah, you can get abilities in that as well. It's quite good.
I just really want to get into Overwatch, but I need to get to level 25, and it requires me playing a fair bit of it at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to be able to put up with that game to play it a fair bit. Like you said, the games are quick, so
games are quick, and if you get beat badly, barely get any XP for it. It's like, what the hell? There's so many characters to choose from. It's like, who the hell do you go with?
If you get beat badly, the game's over in like 2 minutes.
Oh, I know, it's awful. You can go like 0 and 3, and it's like, well, what's,
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I believe we are over the 2-hour mark.
Yeah. Every time we do it, I think maybe we'll only go an hour and a half, and then it just goes on, and I'm like, oh, okay, we are going to go for 2 hours.
9 minutes too long, so fuck off.
It's fine. We spent a lot of time in the starting screen.
We did. It's true.
Making up for it.
It did.
Well, yeah.
We did.
We were back to our OG format today.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm with you two on this one when I say anyone that does watch this, obviously, we appreciate it, and absolutely we're looking to grow this. I think we've got kind of a Twitter platform now. We're on TikTok as well. And yeah, if you've got any ideas, please do fire away. And obviously, if you see anything on the socials, we appreciate it massively if you give it a share, give it a like, and promote the pod. Hashtag promote the pod.
That's nice.
Even if you don't like the tweet or like the TikTok, just like it anyway.
Yeah, because obviously it helps us at the end.
Yeah,
I think the more we, the more of an audience we get, I think the more we're going to get into it, and I think the more we're going to start working on it, and working on how we do the TikToks, how we maybe frame the podcast itself, how we look to upload it to YouTube. At that point,
professional looking.
Yeah, I think as well. Then moving it onto audio only as well.
Studio when COVID's over.
Yeah. Do you know what I was thinking at some point when COVID's all over? I think it would be really cool to be able to do an episode. Maybe just have a couple of beers somewhere.
It'd be quality. Or something came into my head then and just completely disappeared again.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, if anyone that watches this, can think of anything or do anything, then please fire away the ideas. We're open to them.
Yeah,
we want to grow it at the end of the day.
The growth on this, I feel, has been slightly different than just a regular Twitch channel. It's slightly slower and it's a little bit different.
The thing with a regular Twitch channel is it was. I think for people that are just kind of doing it themselves, it's difficult. But for me, I found it was a lot easier because obviously, not only was I streaming loads. Obviously, I had yourself, Dunk. There was Butch. There was other people that was kind of in a little network supporting each other. So if one of us was streaming, the other ones wouldn't stream, and you just kind of support that one person until they finished their stream, and then everyone would move into another. And I think it was the same with you, Jam. When you came along. Whereas with the podcast, it's.
Also, I feel like it's harder to grow a podcast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
ultimately, it's not for everyone. Some weeks we're going to talk about shit that people just not care about. And some weeks are going to be more serious conversations. I think this one's been a bit more of a.
Like today's been like about mainly football, I'd say.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone doesn't like football, they probably wouldn't watch.
Whereas we've had weeks where it's been a lot more looser, more comical. But yeah, it's harder to grow purely off of of that fact. I think that it changes week in, week out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just takes a bit of work, doesn't it? And I think
does.
we'll need to sort of think of other ways of growing outside of the
Yeah.
usual efforts,
Yeah.
and seeing where we
So-
can just put the name.
Again, if anyone has any ideas or anything, we're open to them. We're open to the support, and at the end of the day, I think we're always kind of looking to, we are for the fans. That's what we are. The fans come first. We mean it when we say the fans come first. We mean it when the fans come first, because it is down to you guys. Because I don't think we would do this very long if we had no one viewing it each week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I think we're in that development stage at the moment, aren't we? With it, so it's
Still getting it going.
Still learning.
yeah, pushing on with it. But
Like
this will be our usual format.
Yeah.
The frame itself may change, or who's where might change, or one week one of us might not be here as we've had already. But the usual format will just be us three sat here chatting.
all part of the learning
Week.
process.
Yep. But I mean, we'll have some special episodes like we did last week.
Yeah.
When we grow a bit bigger, we can probably look at bringing on, some guests as well, whether they be Twitch streamers or just
Our friends.
Celebrities.
just random
just people we know.
No, I mean it
Doug's
would be
brother.
yeah. I mean, it would be cool
Someone's
to get to a
dad.
point where it'd be cool to get to a point where we could bring someone that
A
is
random guy off the street.
yeah. No, someone that's
To be fair, that would be a good episode if
Yeah, it
you
would.
just brought
It
like
would.
someone random off the street.
I mean, to be fair, there's a streamer that I got to know who lives in the same town as me, who I found through Football Manager. He's completely changed his content creation into, basically, he started doing interviews with Twitch streamers. He's probably no bigger than us. He probably has like loads more. He has like a few hundred followers, but his view account is not much more than what we get. And he was doing interviews with Twitch streamers. He's then started to go into doing streams where he basically critiques people's social media, their Twitch channels, their YouTube channels. So,
if you want us to critique your Twitch channel or your YouTube channel, let us know, because you can guarantee 100% seriousness.
yes.
It's just a thought. Maybe we think about getting him on and we can talk about all things Twitch with him or whatever. Or I know he's part of a community of other streams that help each other grow quite well. Again, it could be somewhere else we reach out. I'm just thinking out loud. But I think we shouldn't be afraid of actually asking people to come and talk to us, because people will. Just because we're quite a small community doesn't mean they won't talk to us.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think one good one to get on would potentially be Birdman.
Yeah. I don't know much about him, but I know you two do. I know he was in the sort of group.
I fucking love that man.
That's great.
If I ever go to Australia, it's just gonna go to be to meet him. That's the only reason I'm ever gonna go.
That would be really good actually, because we can get a bit of an Aussie UK thing going as opposed to just Americans.
Literally, and he's fucking huge in the UK as it is. Yeah, no, definitely.
That can be something that you can explore then, Welly. Maybe not next week, but in the coming weeks.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Obviously, if anyone has any suggestions on ways that we can promote it, ways that we can look to bring in different crowds and build on it, then absolutely fire them away. We are all ears, unless you critique us and tell us we're shit, and then we will block you in anger and send a million ants your way.
This is the longest outro ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Finn.
All right. Appreciate everyone watching. If you're watching live right now or watching on YouTube.
Yeah, if you popped in on the old YouTube, thank you very much. If you're watching live on the Twitch, hashtag live gang, hashtag YouTube gang. They've just pulled out monkey. I don't have a monkey to hand. I'm not in a... Oh, well, bollocks. Oh, well. From me and the two monkeys, we'll be back next week for another episode. Like I say, thanks on the YouTube, thanks on the Twitch. Follow us on all the social medias. And it's goodbye from me and the two what's the what monkeys mammals? They're mammals. Anyway, yeah. Take care. Have a great weekend. Great Friday. Great week. And we'll see you soon on the YouTube. And we will see you soon. We'll see you next week on the Twitch for another episode. Until then, it's goodbye from all 4, 5, 6 of us.
Goodbye.
All
Bye.
25 of us.
Oh boy.
See ya.